to Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this is a ongoing, it's going to be a 10-part, shall we say. I think it's 10-part. It's going to be ongoing series, which I've been wanting to get to for a while. Actually, I had the idea about a week and a half ago. And we're going to be going through Alan Moore and Eddie Campbell's From Hell in the individual issues, which is how I first read it. This is volume 1. This is volume 1 by Tundra Press. Do you remember them? Oh, they were awesome and now gone. They lasted for like 10 seconds and then they vanished. So we're going to do a deep dive going through this work together. Full spoilers. I really recommend you read it, right? I really recommend you read it and we can go through it together. I was actually going to be doing an examination of Providence, which is a much harder Alan Moore work to read, right? It's a much harder one to do. But I've just thought From Hell on the on my shelf. And I thought, you know what? I haven't had a real good re-examination of that for years and years and years. And it occurred to me, this is the first work that Alan Moore really developed the style of writing on making. Instead of writing a story, he's writing a grimoire, right? He's creating a reality. He's creating a world. I think he did that a lot more in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Providence as well. Developing this holistic, very detailed reality, right? Now, this reality happens to be based on historical truth, historical accuracy. Does he reveal who Jack the Ripper was? Probably. Probably in this very first issue. Before we get into it, if you hit the like button, that'd be fan-dabby, double dozy. That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much. Can you hit the share button? Fan-dabby, double dozy. Can you imagine? You walked in and thought, oh my God, I don't think I could reach the heights of fan-dabby dozy. And now you find out you can get to fan-dabby double dozier. If you share it, thank you very much. I am very appreciative of anyone sharing. I'm going to be putting this on my second channel, which I'm trying to build up, so you can share it. That really helps. Please subscribe. Subscribing really is very helpful. I am very grateful. Hit the like button as well. Can you sign up to my Substack as well? Substack is my email newsletter. Which goes out every day, basically telling you what content I have. I also put a bunch of comics on it. I've been very remiss. If you sign up my paid one, I really want to put out a good 2 issues of comics today, right? Today. So sign up to that because I want you to read my comics. That's basically the bottom line. I do like it when you read my comics. I also kind of like it when you pay me for it as well. So all these things are nice. Listen, if you're just here for the watch, I'll take that too. Thank you honestly, genuinely, thank you, and let me know what you think. Right? Let me know what you think. If you disagree with my take on anything, or if you have your own take on something that I haven't covered, great. I like hearing from other people other than me. Amazing though that may seem, right? Amazing that may seem. I genuinely do like hearing from other people than me. So fine. Let's start getting this first chapter. So this is the digital version. It has this cover. I never really liked this cover actually by Eddie Campbell. This one always seems much better, right? It's basically the same thing. Just I think this is a much stronger cover. Also prefer the logo as well. But anyway, I digress. This is just my graphic design soul speaking out. So we start off. This was originally serialized in Steve Bissett's fantastic horror anthology called From Hell. It was just wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. I doubt you can find it anymore. If you can, there's just gem upon gem in there. There was a bunch of these like longer form graphic novel size periodicals at the time. I thought it was called A1, which Alan Moore did a bunch of work on as well. But this one appeared first in Taboo. That was the name of the anthology, Taboo. Before being collected into its own book. So I just really want to start off on just the basics of how Alan Moore has taught me how to write comics, and it's just an incredible eye of how to tell stories uniquely in this medium, and he just does it so incredibly well. So I like it that we start off with a close-up of something quite macabre. The the carcass of a dead seagull, right? And I think there's quite a lot of symbolism in that the as we find out in this is this issue, the protagonist is Dr. Gull, right? Dr. Gull, and so I think and they're living in the rotted corpse of what happened with Jack the Ripper, and I do like how you start off from like you see this and you see these two characters coming from long shot. And they're having a conversation that seems completely in character for the two of them. So who these people are is Inspector Aberline and Mr. Lees. These are two major players in the story. This is an epilogue to the story. Do they call this a prologue or an epilogue? They call it a prologue, the Old Men and the Shore. So this is a great little prologue, which is an epilogue to start off, where these two main characters must have got to know each other. Well, they did end up living, I think, in Brighton together. So Alan Moore supposes that they knew each other and they discussed events, and it seems reasonable because they were involved in some quite incredible events together, the events of Jack the Ripper. So Inspector Aberline was the chief inspector on it, and you get through clever organic dialogue the impression that he sold out big time. And he ended up profiting from it. But much more interesting here is Mr. Lees, who was the Queen Victoria's spiritual advisor, where he just confesses he made the whole thing up. He made up all his visions, and he had an uncanny accuracy with them. So this first line in it really. Alan Moore has referred to this a lot while talking about this. I made it all up and it came true anyway. That's the funny part, right? He's using, how did he describe it? He used a fiction as a scalpel to slice into history, which is such an incredible explanation for what this is. So, you get this like nice little, you have a real meaty little story with a beginning, middle, and end, and actually saying something mixed in with this character piece. I love it when they catch, I think, is it a prostitute or a boyfriend and girlfriend having sex on the beach together, but you really get an idea of the personality of the characters. So at the end of this opening chapter, they talk about how they did pretty well out keeping their mouth shut. And the final line, again, Alan Moore just has this wonderful poetry, right? Where he says, "This is the house that Jack built," right? And it's a very, very clever way to start it. So that's the short epilogue before we get into the meat of the story, right? Which is the affection of young Mr. S. So this sets up the entirety of what the Ripper murders were probably about. So it's a sweet shop girl meets a toff and ends up getting on very well with her. Getting on so well, they have she gets pregnant. So it's very, very sexually graphic, as you can see here. It's very sexually graphic, but also very realistic. It's not like titillating sex. It's very like relatable and real sex. I find a little bit sexier, quite frankly. I don't know. I think the realism makes it makes me a little bit sweatier, right? So we have this incredible stories told over, I think, a period of a few years when this person who she's taken up with, we find out is really the was it Prince, not Prince Albert, Prince Edward. He's a royal prince. He's a royal prince, and he essentially gets a commoner knocked up, and she has a kid who is essentially in line to be in line to the throne. So the Secret Service has to come in and deal with it, and she's wrenched away. And again, the realism, the absolute realism that and the drama, right? When the guy's friend realizes what's going on, he runs desperately. I think it must be how he writes the scripts, makes the artist be able to write things to tell the way that he's envisioning it. So yeah, so we have this royal scandal in part two. Again, beautifully told. But this book comes into its own, right? Comes into its own in this incredible opening main chapter, which gives you a potted life of the main of the protagonist, Dr. William Gull. Told through this wonderful nine panel grid, something that I rip off, often. Well, again, 9 panel grid is the bare bones way of telling telling stories in this medium, right? And so we have like time echoing in and out, and we get to find out that we're in the very early childhood of this character, who's on a barge. It's a very clever way of using color, using, I say, a silhouette and light to tell a story, right? So we go through the life of this person through the entirety through the eyes of this person, so we don't actually see them, and we get to see how they have they're a little bit strange, right? They're a little bit morally morally weird, right? So they have the scene where he's with his father, sitting in state, and he opens one of the eyes just to kind of play with him. I think he's a very intelligent child. You see him foraging and finding dead animals and opening them up. So yeah, he's always been very connected and okay with blood, right? So he really has no problem with that whatsoever. And he prospers. He becomes a surgeon, and he moves up in life. And so his real ascent in life is through joining the Freemasons, which again, all this stuff I think is probably quite accurate. So the Freemasonry stuff, which you find out much more in future episodes, really ties into Jewish Kabbalistic teachings about the building of the Solomon's Temple from Israel from about 3,000 years ago, no, 2,500 years ago. That's something that really resonates with me. How time and reality isn't linear, right? And we see this lot. So we get this nice little one shot of the as he becomes a mason. We see the ultimate fate of him, which is the bird we saw, the dead carcass of the bird at the beginning, which is a very clever commentary on the story. So, but essentially we get to understand who this character is without ever seeing his face, right? And we go through all his major life events. He gets married. He goes on on these walks, which in the back there's a appendix, which this is a supposition of Moore's, but I do love the accuracy with which all the architecture, which is very important to the narrative of the story. So they go on these walks, looking at architecture, having these very deep philosophical, I would say again, Kabbalistic discussions and Kabbalistic in how they tie into Freemasonry law. So he moves up through life until eventually he gets into the orbit of Queen Victoria, and I do love the detachment, right? The royal detachment that you get on this page of her basically being in the same position but redrawn over and over again. He's sent to do some dirty deeds, right? Some dirty deeds in I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. I read it like a week ago, so I can't remember. And then we get these other interesting little stories. This one is surprisingly well researched. Where he goes in and does an autopsy, an illegal autopsy, and takes somebody's heart for study, like right in front of the grieving wife. And the fantastic meeting with the Elephant Man, putting it in the putting us in that incredible Victoriana, right? Which just seeps through every pore of this book. Seats for every poor, every pound. So this scene I particularly love. It's where he's older. He goes on a walk and he starts to see visions. And he has a stroke. But the vision that's presented to him is makes complete sense. But he creates a three-dimensional worldview for this character, Dr. Gold, that would essentially explain him being this what would be a seminal serial killer, right? So again, he's creating a reality which I just find fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And again, I do like the way that whenever we see Queen Victoria, she's very, very static, right? So eventually, this is Queen Victoria asks him to intercede with the girl who gave birth to the royal bastard, and it's very, very chilling how he's basically going to lobotomize her, right? And that's the plan, and he explains how they're going to do it, and he passes off as if she's crazy, whatever she said, she's just babbling, and nobody listens to her, right? And it's not till the final page of the first issue that we see the protagonist from the eyes of the woman that he's about to essentially lobotomize, destroy her life, as she fades into unconsciousness. Truly chilling. A wonderful modern horror masterpiece. I can't wait to get to the next issue, which I know is a lot of very, very detailed thoughts on architecture throughout London and the Kabbalistic reality that has wrought. So I haven't read that for years. I haven't read it for a good 10, maybe 15 years. I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like in my 50-plus-year-old mind, as opposed to was my 30-year-old mind. So and that's the great thing about re-examining things that you've loved when you're younger. Oftentimes you'll read things, you go, oh man, this is just immature babbling nonsense, but other times you'll see things there that your brain was just too young and immature to pull out from before. So this will continue. I think it's a 10-issue series, right? I think we have 10 of these issues, and then I think I'll probably go through Providence as well. Let me know what you think, right? Let me know what you think about about this issue, about this book, about let me know your thoughts on it. Alan Moore's great. I absolutely adore Alan Moore. Maybe one day, maybe this might be the week I might start actually reading that huge novel he wrote to was it Jerusalem? I would do, but the print's very, very small, and it's a million words, so I'm a bit scared of it. Maybe this will be the week. I wouldn't hold your breath. Sign up to my Substack, sign up my paid Substack, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and have yourselves a freaking awesome day!